Hi, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Jerry.
And I'm Aaron.
Welcome to Reasons to See.
Where we give you reasons to see.
And not to see. Spring Breakers. So let's hang out.
Four college girls who land in jail after robbing a restaurant to fund their spring break vacation find themselves bailed out by a drug and arms dealer who wants them to do some dirty work for him.
Reason to See number 1. James Franco.
Who are you?
My name's Alien.
Why are you here?
I saw y'all in there. They like nice people. Come on, y'all. Why acting suspicious?
Yo, this guy embodied Alien. That's the guy's name.
He's like a combination of Ninja from The Untoward, Kid Rock, Squeezy Jibs, like a bad interpretation of Scarface, like come up with by like a kid that's wearing a YOLO snapback.
And you know what's weird is that you can feel that's probably his history.
Like he is the epitome of the most horrible like sludge at the bottom of American culture. Yeah,
definitely.
He is, and as cliche as it sounds, like James Franco is this guy. Like he's so good at playing this whacked out character.
And I imagine for him it's a fun character to play.
Yeah, it's weird because you just feel like you're just spying on this guy's existence.
Yeah.
in a sort of fun but also very unsettling manner.
He's fun to watch, but at the same time you don't want to be this guy's friend, you know?
You kind of imagine like he has done what he does in this movie before, just, you know, maybe with one girl. Yeah. And it's like this year he hit the fucking jackpot with that.
Reason to See number 2. Selena Gomez.
She was one of the biggest surprises to me in this film. Like, she's very believable. It's kind of interesting because she's not in it as much as you think she'd be in it. I don't want to give anything away, but, you know, she is like a very important character to all the messages that this movie is really trying to get across, and she does a great job in the role. Very emotional, a lot more depth than her performances on Wizards of Waverly Place. So, kudos to you, Selena. Plus, you're very hot. I like you. If you ever want to have sex,
she looks like she's 15. Dude.
Don't care if she looks like she's 15. I know her actual age, and that's what matters.
I was really actually very pleasantly surprised by Selena Gomez because just like somebody who's only known for dating Justin Bieber and starring on a Disney Channel show, I don't imagine to act like a human being. She is, if nothing else, she is our audience insert. None of the other girls nor James Franco really do we get to kind of emotionally connect with and see, yeah, I can see how this is fun. I can see how this is like new and exciting, just sort of marveling at this bacchanalia going on, but then when it gets scary, I want to leave. Like she's really the most identifiable character. In
she's the out of all the girls, she's the most three-dimensional one for sure.
She's our most obvious hero.
Yeah, well, and she's the one who would behave probably the way closest to the way most of us would, because I mean this movie has a lot of over the top sort of surreal fantasy to it, and she is the one who grounds it.
Reason to See number 3. The directing/editing. So it's out there. This was, for all three of us, we popped our Harmony Korine cherry with this movie.
Hell yeah,
it's our first Korine experience.
This is our first Korining, and it's I'm glad that we were able to do this together.
We were.
Honestly, if you hate this film or love it, I don't really see you walking out of this movie going, it's whatever. Because Harmony Korine really knew what kind of movie he wanted to make.
He must have accomplished exactly what he wanted to do, and then it's however you take that thing.
Yeah. Like the person I went, like I sort of loved the movie, and the person I went with hated the movie, and everything they were saying of why they hated it, I was like, but don't you get the point of that? That's why I love it. You know, and because there's so much to explore in this movie. That's what I love about it. It's really open to interpretation, even though it doesn't seem like it would be based off the trailer. But you know, it's trashy, it's violent. There's a lot of sexuality, a lot of pot, a lot of cocaine.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's a party movie, yet it feels surprisingly dangerous at the same time. With the stars behind it and with James Franco looking the way he does, a lot of people might mistake this for being a comedy. Yeah. It's really not, though.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's crazy. The whole thing moves like a montage.
It's a black hole comedy.
The best way I've found to describe this movie is that it's kind of like, it's like a sensory head trip through the thumping, neon lit, tanning oils clad, you know, a teenage wasteland of the American dream.
My favorite thing about it was, especially with the directing and the editing, with it working together so well, was that it felt a lot like a dream. It was just such a hypnotic experience. And a lot of the themes of this movie is, you know, escaping from reality, chasing that next high, you know, looking for some type of party dream. And you really get that through Selena Gomez in this film, and it's cool to see a movie that really captures that emotion just through the direction and editing of this film.
It has this style where it'll jump around, it'll show you something from a few minutes away and then come back to a previous event, and then it'll loop the dialogue over that stuff. But that's what I mean.
It's like it feels like a dream where everything's a little bit scattered.
Yeah.
You know, when you look back on the dream, you're able to put the pieces together.
I wouldn't say it feels like a dream. I say it feels like a trip. It feels like you are.
That's another way to describe it.
It feels like you're listening, because I mean, there are really two girls in this whole crew that are the absolute worst. Yeah. It feels like you are intimately experiencing the inside of the worst of these girls' heads in those moments.
Yes, exactly. It's weird. I wouldn't call it like a documentary, but it's like a documentary of a weird trip, because you kind of feel like, as an audience member, it does feel like this is spring break. You know, if you really break it down, it's because the movie starts off feeling like just a big ass party film. You know, there's a lot of tits and drinking and stuff. And then, of course, there's dark elements to Spring Break too that we start to feel when you're loading your body with all that shit.
There's just it peels back that music video gloss, that MTV thing. And it's like, it's almost like eating too much cotton candy. Like, the way they capture these events, it's like, after a while, it's like, there's so much sexuality and it's not sexy anymore.
This sort of portrait of this weird, fucked up youth subculture.
Yeah.
But it's conflicting, because it's like he's reveling in it and accosting it at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I think in order to get the point across, you have to like see what is
alluring about it?
Yeah, what is appreciated about it. But then that's the thing, is you start to go in deeper and deeper into the world, and it's like, maybe this is such an empty world after all. Yeah, you know, because you have to see why these characters are kind of wanting to do it.
When I really look at the way the film is edited, there are two ways to look at it. Either this is so trying to promote this subjective experience of these girls' trips and like what of this just vacuous madness, or Harmony Korine's just really fucked up and 10 things happen in the movie, and to pad it out to 90 minutes, he needs to have those 10 things happen 4 times.
And he just wanted to shoot a bunch of naked girls. And I love how we're talking about it, because like Aaron clearly has you know, different opinions than I do, and you know, Jerry has his things to say as well. And that's why I love it, is because it's open to interpretation, because it's hard to say who's right or wrong. It's like, it just depends on what you take from this type of movie, man. Reason to see number 4. The music.
Dude, dubstep is my life.
I got my dark tanning oil, lay out by the pool. This is the American dream, y'all.
You know, it's like that spring break youth culture is all people who want to live in a music video, it almost seems like. And so this movie takes on a lot of those elements, and it has the music to go along with it.
Granted, there is a good point where the music doesn't stops being bubblegummy for a moment, where they really try and punch just it becomes discordant, and it becomes ugly, and it becomes grating, and it does it at the right time.
That's what I love about the music, is a lot of the songs, I don't know if there's any original music in it.
I think there's some.
There might be some original music, but most of it are songs that are been selected for this movie, and each song choice seemed to match the scenes of, depending on the mood they were going for, if they want to do a party or go dark. Like, the song choices just really help amplify the scene even more.
Reason to see number 5. Cinematography.
Well, it looks great. Split decision number 1. The girls.
You know, I'm kind of back and forth when it comes to the girls in this, because Selena Gomez is the only 3-dimensional girl out of the 4.
Yeah.
Because the other ones are 2-dimensional. Now, I can actually see what the point of that is. Yeah. Depending on, you know, how you take this movie, I can sort of get it. But I felt like I would have watched a more interesting film if you were able to discern the three of them other than knowing their celebrity name.
I think all three of the girls were great for what they had to do, but I think Vanessa Hudgens didn't have much to work with in the script, and her one direction was, oh, you're a porn star, just talk like a porn star. Whereas she had a counterpart that was just as, fucked up in her actions was her accomplice.
Ashley Benson.
Yeah.
Ashley Benson. And Ashley Benson felt a little more dimensional and a little more fleshed out with the way she was portrayed.
Yeah, a great actor can bring depth to a performance even if the script is not talking about their backstory or what they're thinking or feeling.
Unless they're Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah. So I could actually see what you're talking about. I wasn't as bothered by Vanessa Hudgens just because I was like,
I was super bothered.
Yeah, I just took it as they're both supposed to be two-dimensional, but I will say, reflecting on it, I think Ashley Benson does bring more depth than Vanessa Hudgens since they're pretty much playing the same character in that film.
They are two sides of the same. They're two heads to the same really fucked up two-headed snake.
I get why you have 4 girls and they all sort of go on a stepping ladder of statuses.
Yeah.
So I get why, the Vanessa Hudgens character is sort of the most
Inhuman.
one-dimensional, because I feel like it sort of completes that gradient where it's just like you have the most human, the one who's kind of floating around in purgatory, and then the one who's pretty bad, and then the one who's just like the complete
pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense to have two-dimensional characters because it kind of goes along with a message that I think there's a message in this film of like how this lifestyle can lead to a lot of emptiness, and these girls clearly have very empty lives.
Split decision number 2. The nudity.
Who doesn't like a movie with 4 main characters who are just in bikinis the whole time and a movie filled with a lot of tits?
And a naked James Franco, almost.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was pointing at you because you're the guy.
You don't get to say that you're like, this, like, checking your male privilege and you're being this champion of empowered women, but still staring at their ass. You don't get to fucking do that.
To be fair, this movie stares at everyone's everything because everyone is half naked all the time.
No, because it's like there's a point, like say the bit in the strip club, there's like that closed on some like big jiggly ass titties and just like no, you don't get.
There's a scene in Act 1 too where they're playing in the hall and there's just like shots of their legs up and they're zooming in on Selena Gomez's crotch and stuff.
See,
she even gets like this weird, like creepy camera gaze laid on her too.
I just found it to be their world. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, it bothered me because just like it feels like you don't get to revel in the exploitation, like the exploitative and like you don't get to revel in that ugly, seedy exploitation of these girls and of these people's sexuality while saying, oh yeah, this is pretty bad. It felt like you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to say, oh, this hypersexualization is bad and it's destructive and it's at its core morally vacuous and dude titties. You don't get to say those two statements at the same time. Like that's fucking teleologically bullshit.
See, I feel like he wanted you to feel alert and then feel part of the party, but then also feel the darkness of the party, and then I feel like he wanted you to feel like you're sort of in those character shoes, because like Selena Gomez is the first one to sort of like, because she's like in love with all of it, this is like a spiritual thing to her, and then it's like, oh, this is such a sick thing to be a part of, I don't want to be a part of it anymore, and I think he wanted you to feel that way.
See, I can get on board with both of the things you guys are saying, because I'm still sort of thinking about this aspect of the movie, and I kind of took it as one of those things where it's like, no, but look at it. There's so much of it, and look at how icky this is when it's all up in your face. That's sort of what I took out of a lot of this movie experience, was sort of like, are you sure you want to live that hip-hop lifestyle that's thrust upon us by popular culture? Like, are you sure you want to be a gangster? Because look at what happens. And I left going, I don't want to do any of this shit.
Some kids, they want to grow up, be president. Some kids want to be a doctor. I just wanted to be bad.
So, all this stuff being said then, what's everybody give it? What's the consensus here?
Ryan's consensus! I would have to say there are a lot of reasons to watch Spring Breakers. There are a lot of reasons to watch Spring Breakers. It's a film full of debauchery with some weird messages, and it feels like a hypnotic dream, and you're either gonna hate it or love it. Or be like Aaron and be okay about it.
Aaron's consensus. There are some niche, weird, postmodern reasons to see Spring Breakers. There are some niche, weird, postmodern reasons to see Spring Breakers. At the end of the day, in trying to sort of summarize this more or less what's supposed to be an art movie into something grander or something more, you know, cohesive, it kind of fell apart in my hands. It's like, I mean, and the weird thing is, I had fun.
Jerry's consensus. Spring Breakers is the reason movies are made. Spring Breakers is the reason movies are made. What I do like so much about the overall experience is that it seems like everyone's got a different opinion, and we've talked for like an hour about it, and there's clearly still more to talk about.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about movies in general, is when this thing happens, you know, it's like we've reviewed a lot of sorry movies, but like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I like that sort of stuff.
Alright guys, thanks for checking out our video. Please go ahead and comment below by telling us your reasons to see or not to see Spring Breakers. And if you want to check out my straight to the point review of Spring Breakers, if you want to know what the difference is, just hear the title. It's straight to the point. Spring Breakers. Click on the link right here.
And if you want to see more reasons to see episodes, click on the link right here.
Last but not least, if you want to get updated every time a new review is out, click on Aaron.
Click him.
Click Aaron.
Come at me.
Go ahead, touch him. It's okay.
No, don't touch me.
No, touch him.
I don't want
You can
people-
touch him.
I want people to touch me. I don't like being touched.
He
Just
gets
touch
wiggly and giggly when you touch him.
Don't,
Go all harmony.
don't use the mouse pad in the arrow, just touch your computer screen. And
Yeah. But when you're done, please do click the subscribe button. Otherwise, you know, it's like touching, unless you have a touch screen, it won't work.
Yeah, you know.
Unless you have a Windows Surface.
Have you used one of those?
No.
It's neat.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Subscribe.